Hello, I'm here with Roger Wu, Dr. Roger Wu. How are you, doctor?
Good.
I'm doing well, thank you. Today we're going to talk about doctors and money, doctors in investment, doctors in business, doctors in practice. Because I think a lot of doctors want to talk about this and they don't know where, they don't know how. They're looking for other people like them to have these discussions, especially if they're starting their practice or they want to grow their practice. We have a few questions for you. For example, well, let's start with your specialty. What's your specialty?
I'm an optometrist. I focus on general pathologies for the eyes. My patients are mostly 70% Medicare. That means that they're older patients. So that's basically my specialty. I was trained with trained with an ophthalmologist by Heinemann University and also Pennsylvania College of Optometry. And that's basically how I practice these days.
All right. And where is your practice?
I have two practices. One is in West Covina, California, and the other one is in Laverne, California. Both are in LA County.
Okay. And between the two practices, how many patients do you see per month?
I personally see about between 400 to 500 patients, 400 to 500 patients a month. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the other practice?
The other practice, I don't personally see patients there. I do have a great honor there. So I would say they probably see about maybe 100, about 300 patients there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. So today we're going to talk about everything that's related to business and doctors, investments, the business side of the practice, because you have your own practice. So you have your own business. Did they teach you in medical school how to run a business?
No, not really. I believe there was also a couple classes, not even a course, a couple classes. They talk about percentage out of your revenue you should, spend on the rent, the staffing, everything. And those numbers nowadays not even close, especially in big city like or states like California. Everything's so expensive. So I believe back then they were saying that you should not spend more than I believe 14% on your payroll and about 11% on your rent. Yeah, good luck finding a place, with such a percentage available in at least not in Southern California.
Sounds like
So
a dream if you can find it.
yeah.
So you have to figure it out on your own.
Exactly. Luckily, I worked with, after I graduated, I worked with ophthalmologists for several years and also moonlight for optometrists, very well known optometrists. So I know both type of practices. One is focused on mainly on general pathology. The other one is you see on optical, glasses and contact lenses. So I kind of learned how they were managed back then. That's how I learned from, hands-on experience before I set up and opened my own practice in 2005.
Okay. So you trained for how many years with them before you went solo?
Total about 7 years.
Okay. So that was your business school.
That's Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I saw how they manage people, how they deal with insurance companies, frustration they had to go through. And then, I still decided that, to venture into a private practice myself, become a practice owner myself.
Roger, did you become a doctor in your private practice because you had the entrepreneurial bug or just because you thought it was the next step in your career?
I also had that mindset trying to create something ever since
Okay.
I was young.
Yes.
Obviously, a lot of projects were just outlandish, kind of crazy. Okay. So, and a lot of projects require a lot of financial resources, human resources. And it was always in my mindset. It's just, I guess, the way I was wired to create something, interesting, something people, not just few people can benefit, but, millions or billions. So I know that even having a full time, two practices working full time. I still love or enjoy doing something on the side, and that's basically why I created this project right here. It's beverages that
Okay.
potentially billions of people can benefit from.
Yes. So for people that don't know, you are the founder and CEO of the eye drink, the dry eye drink that you started when?
I started 2 years ago. The idea has been, basically embedded in my mind several years ago. And then since the pandemic, I just see the dry eye issue, the macular issues, the number just going up like crazy, like a hockey stick. So there are a lot of medications, but, number one, they're extremely pricey.
Mhm.
And number two, the compliance rate is pretty much horrible. So I decided to come up with something that's, hopefully budget friendly to everyone. And then instead of, going out there buying certain things, you can mix it yourself. This is a ready to drink beverages, take it out of the fridge, open up and start drinking it. So you can, get the, obviously the benefit of all the ingredients that we put in there.
Okay.
And that's why I decided to come up with this.
So 2 years ago, you decided to open another business, which is the beverage business,
Yes.
because you are what I call a serial entrepreneur, which means you have multiple practices, you have multiple businesses. And I think a lot of doctors want to have more than one income stream, because what if something happens with their practice? There's lawsuits, there's insurance changes. Maybe they get tired of their practice and they want something extra. And you already have that with multiple practices, multiple companies, because you also have a software company.
Yes, I do. I have a software company. The software is very, very unique. Basically, it's an AI software trying to minimize, digital eye strain and dry eye among screen users, device users. So it's a very advanced software that we have right now. Pretty much ready to go, but we obviously the pandemic kind of hurt our business a little bit. So I do have that.
Okay.
Really unique. And also I have this beverage company that we just did a soft launch a few weeks ago.
Yes. And so you saw the dry eye problem so large that you launched two companies.
Yeah, the software company I've been working on it quite a long time.
Okay.
Before that, it was a lot of key opinion leader, KOL in the eye care industry. Very good friend of mine. Unfortunately, recently, he passed away not too long ago. Back then, he called me crazy. He called me that spending all that time and money into this AI software. AI was so early back, so to do that, and he just felt that I should focus on my practice, seeing patients, and rather than do something on the side. And later on, when the issue become more well known, dry eye, digital eye strain become more well known. During one of his presentations, I wasn't there by the way. So during one of his presentations, he started calling me visionary. A friend of mine actually was in the audience. So he actually texted me to say, "Yeah, you know what? The RF thing just called me visionary now." I was like, "Oh, wow." It took him a few years to change that. Before that, he was just saying, and then back then I was very honored that he mentioned that, call me visionary, and he also was telling the audience that he was hoping that he wished he was one of the founders of the company, the software company. That's how, and he felt that everyone's benefit from this software. So that's something that the way I see it, hopefully the beverage can combine with the software to make a very, very interesting products out there. First of its kind in the world that combine not just the beverage, but also combine with technology to minimize eye problems for device users.
Okay. And in your beverage company, you saw that a lot of your patients had dry eye, not one or two, but a lot.
A lot.
And then that started putting a seed in your brain. Was that how it worked? I have to do something about this.
Well, you could say that, but the thing is, I think just getting them more motivated. I always had the idea several years ago, way more than 2 years ago, coming up with something to minimize dry eyes. I didn't know anything about beverage industry. Jumping from eye care industry to beverage to me was crazy. And I was been crazy once already coming from, eye care industry to the software, industry. So I just think that, finally 2 years ago, it was about time. He was so frustrated seeing patient, either non-compliant or they simply couldn't afford the medication out there that's available for dry eyes. And, so those are, it's a multifactorial issue that I decided to work on the projects rather than just wait, a couple more years. And I did a research, found out there's nothing like this on the market, and decided to jump in and work on it. And it took me a while. I interviewed several laboratories. Many of them couldn't, number one, they were not quite sure it's even possible to come up with a beverage with the ingredients that I wanted. And a lot of them were not exactly very enthusiastic to work with me.
Oh,
And yeah, it took me a while to find one that was willing to, look at the project and not think I was a lunatic and come up with this. So after about a year or so of working on this, finally we have something that's tasty and with all the correct ingredients in there. So just extremely proud and this product, right? Finally, we have them available for consumer to purchase.
and what you saw was that you started offering and explaining to your customers, and immediately they started buying it. They didn't question. They just said, "Oh my God, Thank
Yeah.
you for doing this. And then you sold out, basically.
Yeah. We look and sample it. We basically a few cups right there at the check-in counter. And then, as patient coming, we look at it. And a lot of them, they already have, all the symptoms of dry eyes. The patient they've been with me for a long time. They already know what problem they have right now. And then they're frustrated. They kind of knew that they were not exactly, fine with their own medications, whatever I prescribed. So when they saw the beverage available, they drink it and then they loved it and just placed order right away. That's why it was completely sold out in 2.5 days.
Wow.
Put a stop on it.
And something interesting that I see in the beverage industry, Roger, is once in a while, we see a beverage that performs differently because it has the right moment. And I think in 20 years, maybe I've seen it 3 times. I saw it with the energy drink boom. And then, of course, it died down because it's so easy to penetrate the market and you don't need to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first one. Then the second one was the ready to drink tea in the United States also was a big unexpected boom that started selling like crazy. However, they're not true functional drinks, not even the vitamin waters of the world and the energy drinks of the world. They're not truly a functional drink because they're mostly sugar water with a little bit of vitamins. Of course, there's some hydration drinks out there and now athletes are not endorsing them anymore, right? The athletes stopped endorsing a lot of these mainstream hydration beverages. They even take them out when they're interviewing and they're on the desk, they remove them and they put water. And they say, don't drink this, drink water. But that had a boom back in the day as well. What I see with this beverage is an incredible problem that you've been following since you started your practice, that there's a tipping point now where 50% of your patients have dry eye problems and there's no solution. So you're providing a solution, but then you're providing a solution that they can actually take, because as we discussed in other conversations, if you just give them a pill or 10 vitamins, it's not easy to take 10 vitamins. It's easy to drink something that tastes great and it's only 16 ounces. And I think that's the combination of the right time with the right product. You don't usually see that inventory selling out so quickly. You don't see consumers jumping on and saying, send it to my house on a 30-day supply. And by the way, that's what you're doing. People come in and you don't sell them one drink. You don't sell them one bottle. You sell them a 30-day supply that goes to their house. And you mentioned before that you see 500 patients per month.
Between 400 and 500 patients.
Just on your practice. And then you have a second practice where another doctor might see something close to that as well. And the goal is, let's see if you can sign 100 people a month on a 30-day supply, because now we're talking about $1 million run rate just with your practice, right? And then if you copy paste with other doctors, and this is before we do the drop shipping from the website, before we put it in pharmacies, in natural food stores, in mass retail, we're just talking direct sales. Just with direct sales, you're hitting it out of the park right now. And it's not even in the shelves yet, which is just something that's going to be gravy on the business model. And I don't think a lot of doctors are serial entrepreneurs, but they have the cash flow from their practice. Mm-hmm. And this is an opportunity also for doctors to partner with other doctors for investment opportunities. For example, when you're looking for capital, I think the best investors are other doctors because they get it. Immediately they get it. And when they see that there's a problem and there's a solution and it doesn't involve drugs or pharmacies or Medicare or insurance companies, I think they're going to get it instantly. And they're going to say, I get the problem, I get the solution. For me, they're the perfect investors in this business for growth, because you already did all of the investment for research and development. You already have the product. I already tasted the product. It's already selling. I think the next investment chunk is to mature the online presence and then to start direct sales with other doctors. And doctors or other investors that are interested, they can contact us and get the investment docs. We're doing a raise right now, and when it closes, we will do other raises that they can participate if they're not sure, but of course at a much higher valuation.
Mhm.
You already did a seed round. You funded a lot of this on your own, and now you're going for your A round, let's call it, with outside investors.
Yeah.
And
Well,
what
they're part of the angel round right now.
angel round,
Lower one.
angel round, and
A round eventually will be more of a institutional investors, a little even higher net worth people. I call it the angel round at this time.
okay. So doctors and other investors can participate in the angel round at the moment, and then they can contact you, and you can provide them with information. They can see a sample or get a sample, and then see all of the investment documentation, business plan, and the docs they would need to sign,
Yes.
and that's it. And then they would be partners.
Yeah.
They're investors. They have skin in the game.
Mhm.
I think it's a wonderful investment opportunity for especially for doctors, for everybody, of course, but I think doctors get it immediately because they understand the problem and they will understand the solution.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we are definitely, the first of its kind, first in the world to do this. It's the first ready to drink beverages to focus on minimize screen-induced dry eyes and minimize, macular issue down the road.
And out of a curiosity with your consumers, let's say that you have teenagers because they're on the screen all the time. They come with mom or dad, and you tell them screen is a problem. Here's a solution, or here's something you can do at least. What's their reaction? What are they telling you?
Obviously, before the beverage was available, if you tell them that hey, you need to cut down your screen time, drink more water, taking vitamins, or the blue light filtering lenses, glasses, teenagers, a lot of them, you look at their faces and whatever, So and then they continue getting dry eye, getting redness in the eye, irritation, rubbing their eyes, things like this. They thought was just a part of life. But now with the beverage available right now, I already have 3 patients came back or told me that, but those are adults. The patient told me that they drink 2 bottles a day at work. Now their eyes feel less irritated toward the end of the day.
Wow.
So I'm just experimenting myself. I'm drinking it myself right now. I didn't have severe dry eye. Maybe my eyes very, very mildly dry. But I'm trying to, experience this myself. So I think for those people who's got more prominent irritation, dry eye issues, those are the one that could feel the difference right away. So instead of drinking, coffee throughout work, try to replace the coffee with the eye drink. And those
Yeah.
3 are the one that feel the difference already. So hopefully everyone can benefit from this. So, and then obviously, having I think the demand will definitely be there because the issue is so prevalent these days. There's no perfect solution. All the eye drop medical, the eye care industry know how much they are.
Yes.
Some crazy numbers. And then obviously the beverage will help be, keep hydrated and then minimize dry eye and also prevent, macular problems down the road.
That's correct. Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Roger. And if somebody's interested in investing in the company, let us know, and we will get you the documentation that you need.
Thank you.
Okay.